Hi, welcome back, friends. I'm Captain Upili Kannan, and I apologize because I was held up the last few months shifting houses, so I could not continue with my um, the write up, the presentation on the certificates and documents that are to be carried on board ships, particularly container ships. So, yeah, to continue, I mean, there are not many conventions left now, and most of the other certificates that I'm going to talk about are pretty straightforward. These are based on the write up that I did on the certificates and documentation on um, documents that are required to be carried on board container ships, as well as with the core document as a guidance, the MEPC circular of 2022, which details the list of certificates and documents required to be carried on board all the ships. Yeah. So this list is there, updated in Solus as well as in Marpol, as we talked about in the last few sessions. The last I stopped was with the anti-fouling convention. Yeah, and then the next one that I would like to take up now, and then be quick on the conventions which are coming because they're all pretty straightforward certificates and documents. Is ballast water. Ballast water convention, as we all know, has been well established, and we have. We need to exchange ballast. We need to be mindful of the ballast that is ballasting or deballasting that is done in ports because by now we all know that it upsets the marine environment, and we transport organisms from one place to the other, messes up with the ecology of the local marine system. So yeah, so there are many methods, particularly people, and all of us are aware of ballast water methods of D1, D2 methods, and mostly vessels are now set on D2 method with the ballast water treatment plant on board. Um, what does the Solus or the IMO circular say about the ballast water management? Yeah, so that's the next one because the last one we covered was anti-fouling, and I'm going as per the circular. I've also written up something on my write-up, so that I'll pick it up later on. So ballast water management certificate is the one that all vessels hold of 400 gross tonnage and above. Well, how does it? How is it issued? It is issued based on an implemented ballast water management plan on board vessels, and also a ballast water record that is kept on board. It's a standard format. I'll come to that a little bit in detail, and the type approval certificate for the ballast water treatment plant if there is one installed on board. So, ballast water treatment. Plant which is there on board is something that we need to be fully thoroughly conversant with. It's a bit different, because in the olden times we used to send in a note and do the ballast or start ballast pump for 2 dB or 3 dB and deballast, and then we take soundings, and then we let the deck department lets the engineers know, okay, you can start the pump, and then that's it. Yeah. Now it's all under our control, and we need to be well conversant with the ballast water treatment system that is provided on each vessel that we do. And there has to be the maintenance of it is falls under the engineers, but there is a gray area, so a lot of things that we need to be doing for the regular good operation of the treatment plant also, including dosing and all those things. So there's always a close coordination between the departments, and from the junior level we should be familiar with the operation of the individual ship's ballast water treatment system. Yeah. So ballast water record book has to be maintained as we do this ballast exchanges at sea as well as in port, as per the port regulations, port formalities. Yeah. So this record book is somewhat like, I mean, it used to be a book with not a very defined structure. But now, right now, it is very well defined and is also on an e-book format. This has to be clearly written, clearly countersigned, and truly recorded the times and deballasting time and the maintenance time and everything else. And it's almost like it goes parallel with the oil record book. Yeah. So people have started taking notice of this, and then there are a lot of enforcement on this, scrutinizing and enforcement on this proper record keeping of this ballast water record book. So particularly when, in the United States, as the last time when I went, there's a Fish and Games wildlife department which comes on board, and they scrutinize the ballast water record book thoroughly, apart from the US Coast Guard, as well as I remember whenever we go to the Meishan terminal in Ningbo, those people also, the MSA people come on board to scrutinize the ballast water record. So diligent record keeping is utmost important. We can do that so much only when we know thoroughly the systems that are there on board and we are familiar with everything on board. Yeah, the operational aspects of operational as well as the maintenance aspect of the ballast water treatment plant. So there are four things that are required. One is the ballast water management. Based on all these things, ballast water management certificate is issued, and also we must hold in our certificate file the type approval certificate of the ballast water, whatever the ballast water management system that is provided on board. Okay. So we have ballast water management plan specific to the vessel, and ballast water record book and type approval certificate. This is required as per the MEPC circular that I talked about, where list of certificates and documents that are required to be mandatory. They are required to be carried on board vessels. Yeah. So that is ballast water convention. So ballast water convention is one under International Maritime Organization that is adopted and that is implemented on board. Yeah. Okay. Now we come to the next topic of bunker convention. So bunker convention, it ties up with a few other things. Yeah, bunker convention. The result of the bunker convention is a certificate, is an insurance certificate that is to be carried. Yeah, applies to pollution damage and measures taken to prevent or minimize damage. Yeah. So the bunker convention requires that the registered owner of the ship is to maintain an insurance or other financial security to cover the liability. Okay, so this is basically an insurance certificate. Bunker convention results in an insurance certificate in case of any bunker pollution damage. Bunker means not alone fuel oil, diesel oil, gas oil, low sulfur, high sulfur. It includes lubricating oil also. So whenever the lube oil is coming, sometimes we will just take lube oil at one port, and it has to be dealt with the due respect equally as we do for other bunkering things like checklists. Check the lines are set, and inform people, and people are aware of the operations all over. Yeah, the precautions that are to be taken as per the safety management system of a particular vessel. Okay, so this is an insurance certificate. This has to be carried on board. This is often required by port authorities. Yeah, as a basic port clearance, port submission document. And on the topic of insurance, we have got many more. What are they? So, few sessions back, we covered Maritime Labor Certificate, Maritime Labor Convention, and under which clause 15 and 16 talk about insurance coverage for seafarers who are likely to be abandoned. What is the coverage for that? They have to be properly repatriated home. And the other one is the ship owner's liability on injuries or death and disabilities on the seafarers, and insurance to be taken as per the terms and conditions of the collective bargaining agreement between the vessel and the flag state. Yeah. So those are the two insurance certificates. The third one is this bunker convention, and it results in an insurance certificate as issued by more or less the same PNA club, or it can be authorized, an insurance taken through the PNA club and authorized by the flag state. So I will talk about this flag state, why it is so very important every time we have to talk about the flag state. Yeah. So that's bunker convention certificate. Yeah, and the next one is the wreck removal certificate. So removal of wrecks convention. There's a convention. Bunker convention is there. Removal of wrecks convention is there. Some conventions are just the titled. Some conventions say Nairobi International Convention on the Removal of Wrecks. What is Nairobi? Okay, probably the convention was held in Nairobi and adopted in Nairobi in 2007. The wreck removal convention. So wreck removal convention is also the same. As the maritime traffic increased, we trade all over the world, and due to unforeseen, it's see as I talked about in my earlier lecture. So sailing out of a harbor is a maritime adventure. We are on an adventure. We are exposed to the elements. So we do our best to the best of our abilities as required by the SMS and the good practice of seamanship. Yeah. Beyond that, certain things happen, and with due diligence, whatever we have taken care of, things happen. And in case if the ship has to be wrecked or we have to be stranded and it has to be a total loss as a wreck, so it cannot be held. It cannot be left. The ship owner cannot leave that wreck over there like a museum piece and then just wash his hands off. No. So the IMO has come out with the convention that you need to have you need to hold the ship owner liable so that he removes that wreck so that it doesn't endanger the environment, the safety and security aspects of the local climate, local environment, local port state, local waters, and an insurance is taken for the removal of wrecks. Again, this can be part of the club where you can take through various clubs also, and that has to be endorsed by the flag state. Yeah. Okay, so that is one requirement. Then also, I'm skipping a few pages here, and then I go to PNI certificate and hull and machinery cover. PNI certificate is a huge topic. So protection and indemnity. It's a basically a third party cover, and it covers some part of collision damage, and so to clearly understand what it is, claims include but not limited to cargo claims, crew claims, collision liabilities, fixed and floating objects damage claims, third party injury and death claims, oil pollution liability, etc. So basically it's a third party damage, and we all the vessels have to be covered. You have to be covered with under PNI. The port state, many of the port state, they insist on that you are covered, only then the vessel can operate. And we have a PNI correspondence list. Yeah. So I suggest, I mean, that's normally done on all the vessels. Yeah. So in all the contingency manuals, be it SOPEP, be it SMS, or be it ballast water management plan. So all these things, like, once on a container ship, the route is set for the next 4 months or 6 months. Voyage set, and we go round and round on certain loop. So it's better to identify the PNI club correspondence and then take out a printout and put it into those manuals, which can come in handy at any time. This is due diligence is there on all of our part, and beyond that, certain things happen that we need to seek the help of the PNI surveyors and everybody else for help for the third party damage. So PNI cover, okay, traditionally. So let me see. Let's talk about this in very olden terms, and clearly what it meant at the initial stages. So protection refers to traditionally the ship owner's protection from the one-fourth of the collision liability. So the three-fourth is covered by some other insurance called hull and machinery, which we'll talk about later. And then indemnity is indemnify, refers to club's indemnity or compensation for liability or to cargo under a carriage of contract. Yeah. So since then it has evolved into many things, and then it is generally we refer to the third party liabilities on the PNI. It's a big subject. There are a lot of things in it, and there's a very good book, Masters on. A guide to masters to collect evidence in case should something happen. So there are excellent books on board to in the library. So that's a PNI cover. PNI cover is a must, and everybody insists on they want port states because it's third party damage. So they know, okay, you are covered. Should something happen, they are okay. They can claim. Yeah. What is hull and machinery? So we all have PNI cover on board. It's valid for 1 year. For some reason, it is from 20th February to 20th February. I don't know. I'll leave it to you. So it is kept on board, and PNI correspondence, PNI book is there. So guidances are there, how to. So always we should seek the help of the owners, help of our management company before we, if there is an incident that is there on board that can, that needs the attention of a PNI, calling for a PNI surveyor, we need to seek the help of the our superintendent or the vessel manager or the company, first. So, of course, in case of very urgent need, and that incident is such a catastrophic in nature, then we need to call immediately the PNI on board. Okay, so that's a PNI cover. That is a must that we carry. A hull and machinery cover, we do not carry it on board. Why we are not carrying it on board? Hull and machinery covers the rest of the three-fourths liability, and more so the machinery part of it, the hull part of it. Yeah, it covers the owner against his own asset. Yeah, it doesn't cover anything. Generally, it doesn't cover that could be required for a third-party damages. So it's only on owner's interest we take hull and machinery. So owners covers the vessel for those hull and machinery damages, and the certificate is generally kept on board, but I'm, I've not seen. If you have to really ask for the hull and machinery certificate, they may send one, but generally it's not kept on board on container ships. But it is available with the company, and they may insure that particular vessel or group of sister vessels together. We don't know how that works out. And well, yeah, hull and machinery certificate is also there, and that is not sought after by the port authorities or anything for the port clearances or the third party people. Okay, so we have PNI cover, we have hull and machinery insurance, PNI insurance, hull and machinery insurance, ballast for the bunker convention certificate has got a bunker, that is an insurance cover, recruitment insurance, MLC, the class 15 and 16 insurance, and yeah, these days because of the companies realize the welfare of the crew is paramount. Yeah, and that they should take care of their crew members who contribute, who does everything on board, who under whose control the ship operates. So the companies have covered crew members on a big insurance cover, health insurance, as well as not alone the crew members, they cover their family also. That's a good thing which is happening. So that's another insurance cover that is there. So those are all insurance cover. Apart from that, uh, we have yeah, insurance like when we go to SPRO, for when you go to Chinese ports, they have something called SPRO coverage for pollution damage against bunkers, as well as when we go to or any other pollution and oil pollution, and also when we go to USA, we use something called COFR. Certificate of Financial Responsibility. It's a cover. So financial responsibility cover is there for COFR because they don't. They don't accept any of these other things. They want to have their own insurance cover. They want to make sure that there's a separate cover as per their terms. It is available, so that we have COFR, Certificate of Financial Responsibility, for one for federal government and one for California COFR. So these are all the insurance covers that are there that helps vessel ply smoothly between ports. Yeah. So those are insurance topics that is there as per the convention. One is the bunker convention, and another one is the wreck removal convention. So those the other PNI, hull and machinery, COFA, SPROs, all those things are additional covers that are required to trade the vessel. Otherwise, simply one cannot trade. But you just cannot call them statutory requirements. Okay, right. What do we have next? Next one is the Fall Convention, facilitation of maritime international maritime traffic. Okay, so again, it's olden times. In any format, we do the crew list or stores list and things like that. We submit to port authorities. There are always customs, immigration, and this is an age-old thing that has been there for centuries, and it is still there. So they levy the ships which come for on their tonnage, and then the goods which are coming in, and they are scrutinized. So to have a document, and to have a common document, so that the maritime traffic is facilitated smoothly between countries. Of course, we have a UN body to a collection of all the countries on under the UN body, and then we have organizations like IMO, WHO, and all. So IMO takes care of all our maritime requirement. IMO has got various conventions they implement, so that the maritime traffic is smooth, is done safely and securely with a due regard to the environment. Yeah. So how to because there's a lot of vessels, a lot of types of tonnages, and crisscross they trade between various countries. So streamline all the documents that are required into a standard format. So, like the IMO crew list, IMO stores list, and things like that. So, how did it come about? It came about due to Fall Convention, facilitation of international maritime traffic. So, there's a convention. So, under which, so it's a booklet. If you see, all the standard formats are there, blank forms are there. As per that, when it is transmitted through either most of the ports they want, some of the ports they want hard copies, but a lot of ports now accept electronic copies of these pre-arrival documents. Okay, so that is accepted, and ships are cleared smoothly, and there is efficiency in the turnaround of the vessel. Okay, and there is a common understanding of the what is required under each document, yeah, under the Fall Convention. So that's one thing. So that is to facilitate smooth traffic of the maritime traffic. These are all the standard formats which of the incoming, including the ISPS 10 ports of call, things like that. Okay, and then what is that other one? The security document which we exchange. Yeah. So that's the Fall Convention. A Fall Convention doesn't mean those documents alone, and it has got a good chapter on stowaways. Stowaways. Well, how do the countries react to stowaways which may happen to come on a merchant vessel, and how to take care of this, even the stowaways on board, how to report, and all those things. It's a very, very, very good document. Of course, we have a lot of other ones to prevent stowaways coming on board. Unfortunately, should one be seen on board, how to go about in dealing with them. So this is an excellent booklet of IMO that details on the aspect of stowaways, or should they be on board. Yeah. Then, so that is the Fall Convention. So we go back to the MSc circular. So I did. We have done most of the things. We have EEXI technical file, ballast water management plan, anti-fouling system, and all those things. Civil. So that was certificate of insurance or other financial security in respect of civil liability for bunker oil pollution damage. So it's a statutory requirement. Okay, certificate of insurance. Yeah, statutory requirement under SOLAS as well as MARPOL as per IMO. Okay, then that is one required. As per the MSc, MEPC, MSc circular of list of certificates and documents that are required to be carried on board. So the other one is what? Certificate of insurance or other financial security in respect of liability for the removal of wrecks. So that is also mentioned here. Okay, so then we have done with all the general category of the for the ships. Then we come to a particular category of the ships. What are they? In addition to the certificates listed in section one about passenger ships shall carry. Well, I'm not I don't have much expertise on passenger ship, so I have no. But it is there. You can go through that list of certificates that are required literally to be carried on board. And then, in addition to the certificates listed in one and two above, cargo ships shall carry one and we have seen a lot of these certificates: cargo ship safety construction, safety equipment, safety radio, yeah, bulk carrier booklet, enhanced survey, yeah, all the charging monitoring equipment. And then there are various other things for tankers. Yeah. So in addition to then we come to section 4. Section 4 says, in addition to the certificates listed in section 1 and 3 above, any ship carrying noxious liquid chemical substances in bulk. Well, I have not sailed on one, so I have no, I'm not, no, I don't have the expertise to talk about it. So what is the section 5 talks about? It's about for chemical tanker. Still, I have no expertise on that. And then what? Then gas carrier, no. And then the seven is high speed craft, no. And then eight is in addition to the certificates and student, ships carrying dangerous goods that we have talked about, dangerous goods in package form, dangerous goods in bulk form, and then dangerous goods manifest, and all those things we talked about earlier. Okay, section 10 is what is applicable to ships carrying INF, yeah, irradiated nuclear fuel. So no expertise on that either. And then 11 is addition to the certificate listed 1, 2, and 3 above, nuclear ships shall carry now. And 12 is any ship operating in polar waters. Well, I would love to transit through polar waters on cargo ship. Well, I'm sure all of you will get very soon. Some of you might have had the experience also. Very soon, it is going to be the thing that that's a beautiful navigation up through the polar waters to be in the pristine waters, and wish you all the very best in that. Yeah. So those certificates that are required, polar water operation manual and all, yeah, that may be required to be had on board. Yeah. 13 is in addition to that, ships using gases or other low flash point fuels shall carry. So probably the LNG powered vessels, they may be having this. Yeah, maintenance procedures and emergency procedures and operation procedures. And I've not had an opportunity to sail on those vessels either. Okay. Other certificates and documents which are not mandatory, what are they? Special purpose ship safety certificate. Yeah, for a special purpose, specially built for some operations. The safety certificate issued to that vessel. Yeah, offshore support vessels. Yeah, and then offshore vessels, and then passenger submersible craft, dynamically supported craft, and then what do we have here? Mobile offshore drilling units, and then being on ground craft, and noise levels. Noise levels we talked about. So noise levels is a required document that we always carry on board, even though it is not mandatory. So it is done on board. Then we come to, so this document is the MEPC circular, yeah, and then we come to additionally the certificates and documents that are required to be carried on board by the flag state, required as per the flag state. So there are a few pages on this. I'll come to this later. I'll go back to the convention. So the convention is we are covering the convention as per my write up, and backed up with the MEPC circular certificate list of certificates and documents that are required to be carried on board. So basically, I'm concentrating on container vessels. Colrex Convention, yeah, Colrex Convention, yes, 1972, it's in force, and yeah, the certificates that are required on board to be carried on Cold Convention. Yeah, probably the lights and shape certificates and a few other things that are required as per SOLAS that are there on board. And how does it unfold? Yeah, well, um, uh, BTIS traffic. They're all monitoring the traffic. You cannot contravene uh, um, the VTIS traffic separation scheme as it is there in Malacca Strait or English Channel. So port authorities are monitoring, and we do we observe due diligence in transiting those waters with respect to the traffic involved, or be it a port of call within that zone. Okay, so any contravention will swift and immediate repercussions by the port authorities because we are all monitored. So coalition reg convention, coal reg ROs are there. We all know it by heart. It is ingrained in us, and we need to comply with the ROR at all times. And it's a beautiful document. Yeah, we need, and there is so much, even if I sit down and read all the rules now, and then I try to I realize that I can add different meaning to the rules, be it any one of these rules. So it's so very important that we fully comply with Cold Convention. Yeah. so the sound signals and everything else. So I'm coming to the end of the session. Once again, my apologies, and I was busy with shifting home, shifting elsewhere, and I wish you all smooth seas and happy sailing, and look forward to seeing you again. And I want to complete this as soon as possible. There are a few more things, and they are not very hard to be done with. Yeah, thank you, and safe seas.